And SG Ghana is offering an amazingly discounted interest rate on its loan. So both customers and non-customers, including staff on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll, can enjoy access to heavily discounted loan rates. Yes, they say no, we're cool, but SG Ghana is here to lighten your financial burdens. Get a loan now by visiting any of the bank's 42 network outlets or call 0302-214-314 today. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, promo ends on the 7th of August 2023. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you. But Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited wants you to know that you can shop by simply logging on to kingdomstoreonline.com, and they will arrange delivery to your home and office within a reasonable time, offering free delivery within Accra and Tema, and they accept payment via Momo across all networks. Terms and conditions apply at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks. Time now for the newspaper review, brought to us by First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. But before we get into the papers, let's go for a wrap on what happened on Newsfile on Saturday when Special Prosecutor Kisia Jabing joined Samson.
I respect the credentials of the professor, and I doff off my hat to him on all scores. I mean, his CV is unbelievable. I respect that, and I applaud him for that. But I have a charge to keep. The charge I have to keep is to the Republic of Ghana and to the public. I will state again, the public and any member of the public has the luxury to consecrate saints. But in consecrating your saints and your heroes, mind you again, I'm stating again, I am your conscience. I am the spirit of the nation, and the office stands for that. Now, if I approach this job of fighting corruption, that there are some persons in the society who have attained the status of sainthood, we will lose the fight against corruption. You have your saint. I don't have saints. In your estimation, the man is a saint. But from my angle, I treat no one as a saint. A lot of allegations, a lot of complaints. I am investigating a broad gamut of issues when it comes to Galamsey. The professor was the man in charge of this dissolved committee. So the committee was at odds and they couldn't account for so many things.
If you sit where I sit and you take away the emotions from it and you examine the issues before you, you have some very painful pills to swallow, and you may offend people. Mind you, you remember the LaBianca case? It was such a fury, as if I had killed someone, because one of the persons involved was a member of the Council of State, and it was unheard of. That was a member of the Council of State, and what am I doing? You remember, chiefs in a certain traditional area sat and vilified me, as if I was Satan's son himself.
Once again, I will retreat. Every person who was an officer of this committee is my target, because there are allegations against this committee. And so, you do not cloak yourself with immunity, as far as I'm concerned, because someone puts out a report. That report comes to my attention. That is part of my investigation. But merely because someone puts out a report doesn't mean the person is then insulated from the process of the investigation.
All right, so that was the Special Prosecutor on Saturday on Newsfile, and I'm sure all of you followed. Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a very interesting conversation he had with Samson, addressing some of the concerns that have come up so far. I think the takeaway for me is the fact that he sought to create the impression that he's someone who citizens must trust in terms of what he's doing. I think what many are looking out for will be what the outcome of these investigations will be, and in a timely manner as well, because we wouldn't want to see it drag on for so long. They started sometime in October 2022, so we expect that he's able to finish it in good time, and we see what becomes of it. Generally, I think his responses, I was convinced to an extent, but there were a few issues that I had as well. I mean, this whole insistence that once you come over and they feel that there are issues with you, they have to all of a sudden arrest you. I do not agree necessarily with that, because when someone, and especially because of some of the individuals that you are dealing with, the point I admit and I agree with him on is the score is that it doesn't matter who you are. And even last week, you recall, having a conversation, I made the point that it's not about being Professor Frimpong Boateng. It has to do more with the fact that there should be a fair process that makes everyone accountable, no matter who you are.
Okay. Elton?
Well, my My take is that I think the OSP should talk more. I mean, sometimes the allegation is all over the media, and then you don't get to hear from the OSP. So they have a public affairs directorate. I know somebody who is in charge of communication and research. I think they should speak more. And then we should now be able to establish the charges against Professor Mpomboaten, for example, because he spoken. The OSP is also providing more details to it. But what really are the charges against him? These are some of the things that we need to understand.
That's why I disagree with you on the speaking more. Because look, sometimes, and these are investigations. So assuming, for instance, Professor Mpomboaten had not come out to say, I've been arrested, the OSP probably may say, okay, we have enough grounds to arrest you. But then there are others who are being investigated also. It could turn out that eventually, after the completion of their investigations, they may not even charge him.
It depends on the caliber of the individual.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't pick someone. I mean, assuming there's a presidential candidate somewhere that you are inviting, you can't be silent about it.
Hold on a second. But that's why I'm trying to tell you that. Look, in other jurisdictions, we've seen people being investigated. We've seen people trying everything possible to actually, arrest certain decisions here and there. But even around that time, they don't mention their names. I say, and I believe that the identity of some of these persons should be protected until they are going to court. When you're going to court, you can now say, I have gone to court with so and so. Then we know that the person is, at the courts and you're dealing with the person.
But the legal arrangement for the OSP is also different in the sense that, he's required to do an update periodically on the case that they are investigating.
Twice every year.
Twice every year.
So you can mention the case.
We are in June, so
we
expect that
you can
there should
mention
be
the case
an
and say
update of the...
you're investigating, the IMCI.
I still think that there are some of the
Without mentioning
individuals,
names.
some of the individuals that sometimes you really cannot, and that's why I agree with Elton that in those instances you risk the public just ganging up against you.
I know.
And public perception on fighting corruption is very important.
But you see, that's the point, because I know somebody, for instance, who's under investigations. He goes to, the police, writes a statement, then later on, the Attorney General decides, no, we don't have a case. We're not going to do any case. Now, before that, somebody leaks this information to a journalist who publishes a story about the guy. Made him look like a criminal. Okay. But when it was time for the guy to be taken to court, having looked at all the, elements, they realized, okay, this is not a case we can secure conviction. In the eyes of the public, he's a criminal because somebody's published it. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes, when you're going to the court, even that one, when you get there, it doesn't mean the person is a criminal. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the papers.
I have the BNFT. The front page has this story about gold output up 32% as a country returns to top spots. Details in the paper. Illegal mercury imports alarming. It's coming from the former EPA boss. And pressure mounts as demand for T-bills falls short of issuance targets. The back page has this story about ECG deploying 40,000 prepaid meters to customers in the Western region, and Caribbean keen to expand $1 billion export trade with ECOWAS. That is it for the BNFT.
So the Daily Guide says that 5 shot dead in police crossfire and focused Baumia to critics. 2023 Hajj airlift begins today, and crackdown on legal tree felling. Firma, that's the chief of staff, tells the Forestry Commission. Just a brief on the police shootout with the alleged armed robbers. It says 5 people have been killed in crossfire between the police and suspected criminals in Botiano and nearby communities in the Gassab municipality of the Greater Accra region. Statement from the police said the police were conducting anti-robbery and anti-land guard operations in the area when the shootout happened on June 8th. The statement noted that the 5 were among those, who have been disturbing people and landowners in Botiano and surrounding communities. Upon spotting the approaching police team, the suspects opened fire from their hideout, prompting the police to return fire. As a result, 5 of the suspects were injured and later pronounced dead at the hospital. But over the weekend, there were a lot of, shooting here and there in the north too. Some people were ambushed while traveling. Some, left the scene with serious injuries here and there. So the police, this one happened in Accra. Boy 13 committed suicide. It's very unclear what may have prompted a 13-year-old boy to take his own life. Middle page of the Daily Guide newspaper. I have 2 wives. Chirabosom declares. And the Northern Region 240 training TVETs. So those are your stories. Mediama wins first leg title. That's on the back page of the Daily Guide.
Yeah.
Kim Faisal, Kotoku Royals, and Tamale City back to Division 1.
What happened to Hearts of Folk?
Fortunately, they were saved.
Oh, okay.
They were saved. But the interesting thing about the weekend league matches, almost all of them ended up in draw.
I see.
The teams that were on the brink of relegation,
All of them.
draw.
So what are you suggesting?
Oh, I think I've stated it clear. They all drew. I've stated it, yes.
So are you suspecting foul play here?
Oh no, but it's interesting. It's a smart way to get around it.
Oh yeah, that's a smart way to get around it. Yes, you're right.
As against 39-1 and 40-0 and that's
that one.
that one quickly.
Oh yeah, the 28-0.
Yeah, you quickly raises our eyebrows.
Goal.
But when everyone draws and we are all safe. Olympics were almost relegated as well.
Yeah. Kotoku Royals.
Just 1 year in the previous when they are back to Division 1.
Alexander Kusiakwa, the MP for Achimota, he was always reminding me of his team, how they are playing Kotoku Royals. Oh, Alex Akusiakwa.
They'll come back again.
They'll come back. Anyway, let me get to the finder. I see it's difficult coming into when you're relegated. Getting back home. Let me get to the finder for this morning. Says our track record is our campaign message. Dr. Bamia responds to political opponents. So it says the NPP's track record is their is their campaign message. And he's been talking about, some of the things that, they've done. He talks about, how planting for food and jobs has helped, how maize production has increased from 1.8 million metric tons per hectare, 1.8 metric tons per hectare to 4 metric tons per hectare. Rice production also increased from 2.7 metric tons per hectare to 4.5 metric tons, he says. He talks about some of the problem-solving policy initiatives that the NPP introduced, like the Ghana card, the use of Ghana card number as tax identification number, SNIT number, national health insurance number, digital property address system. And these are the...
That's the tallest.
That's the tallest.
But what do people remember today?
Of course, all of these things are supposed to make your lives better. And so, former President Kufuor, when he was campaigning, said she was sitting him. What matters at the end of it all, the conditions in which people are. So you may talk about all of these things, but what really matters is the condition of the ordinary man. So it's his pocket that matters the most. Make tree planting and nurturing a habit, President admonishes all of us. NPA set to prosecute petroleum industry criminals and channel investment to Ghana, Africa to safeguard global food security. Guess who's talking? Workaholic Akoto tops all. Water. Dr. Usufi Akoto.
The dark horse in the race.
And EcoBank grows assets by 44.5% to 25.9 billion. That's all from me.
And then the Crusading Guide newspaper says Ghana is ready for your investment. That's Dr. Fiyakoto. He told global investors at Agriculture Forum in Turkey. And he's still pursuing his presidential ambition. OSP probe from Pombat is not a target. That's according to Richard Anyagba, the communication director of the party. Blows over Samankesi chieftaincies too. Stories on the 10th page of the Kokubako's newspaper. And then there's a very interesting story also in the Crusading Guide newspaper. The Romanian ambassador to Kenya and few other countries in the eastern part of Africa, he's been recalled. And the reason that he referred to Africans as monkeys.
My goodness.
It's very unfortunate that in this time and age, we still have backward people living amongst us.
Yeah.
So for that reason, he's been recalled back.
Well, let's get to our online news review brought to us by Zenith Bank. In your best interest, Goil Good Energy. So what do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just stop up anywhere? Don't do that. Let's introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be part. Goil Super XP 195 and Diesel XP are the best quality fuels with high performance in town for your vehicle. Goil Super XP 195 is a high-grade fuel sold at same price as normal fuel. And Goil Diesel SP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle with over 440 stations across the nation. Join the family that rewards you with quality for an energized driving experience. Goil Good Energy, Goil, yeah, yeti. And the Zenith Bank Health Walk is back, and it's happening live on Saturday, June 17, 2023 at 6 a.m. sharp at Zenith Bank's head office on the Independence Avenue. Now, because everyone can bank with us, we're inviting everyone to also work with us. Join us, let's have fun and create memories as we keep fit and work towards a healthy lifestyle. See you at the Zenith Health Walk on Saturday, June 17, 2023 at 6 a.m. sharp, venue Zenith Bank's head office. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. And on myjournalline.com this morning, next NDC government will jail all MPP corrupt officials. That's according, to Sherry Aite there. And we're told Parliament to celebrate 30 years uninterrupted parliamentary democracy this year. And US Professor Schools shoots down Agenda 111 project, says government can't fund it. Well, it's one of the things that is under review, and the period of construction has been reviewed. Is now from 2022 to 2027. If you look at the IMF document,
Right.
A lot of the things that we are changing, it's part of it. CityNewsroom.com will summon everyone mentioned in Frimpong Boateng's report. That's the special prosecutor. I'm sure it's coming from the interview he had with Samson. Time now for the BBC News, brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin,